So it really varies from club to club. I mean, I'd like to say that, you know, in the year 2024, that we've really got things properly organised in Scottish football, and that all the clubs are consistent and they have similar policies. But I'm sorry to say that is definitely not the case. So at St Mirren, you can go on there and you can buy a ticket online. But if you're a disabled fan, you can't. You have to contact St Mirren direct. So I understand, I understand people, protecting their assets, if you like, and they can't just let everybody that says they're a senior citizen or disabled or whatever, gain access at a lower price. I get that, but it just seems to puts an obstacle in the way, and you can't just turn up at games anymore. Like I was saying to you, back in the 70s, I get up one day and I'd say to my brother, fancy going to the game today, David? He'd say, aye, that might be 1 o'clock. So off we go, get to Muirton Park, we go in the players' entrance and they just send us through the tunnel. They never took any money in those days. And we sat on the track side on the wee bench, him in his wheelchair, me in a wee bench, right next to the dugouts, the away dugouts usually, which is quite funny sometimes. But especially when, Albion Rovers score a goal, but we end up beating them 7-2, and you're just looking in the dugout at them, when the 5th goal goes in, 6th goal goes in, just going waving at them, and they're getting the other rating. But that was so easy, right? It was so easy. It's turned up, you went in, that was it, simple. Now, if you wake up one day saying, oh, right, I fancy going to the game today. Well, it's not just so easy as that, because sometimes they insist on a paper ticket. There's not a cash gate, and that's not so easy. Without people who are as good as Bev, who will meet people at grounds and bring tickets with them, for them, then it's not so easy. And I mean, some of the clubs and some of the bigger clubs like Hibs were shocking the last twice we went there. Really not this, talking about accessibility or being disabled friendly or whatever term you want to use. They were not by any means. Actually, the stewards refused us access to the disabled entrance and told us we had to stand in that huge snaking queue where it was all barriered off. And I insisted and said, well, I shouldn't have to explain to you why we can't stand in that queue. Now, let us in here. And I had to insist when we got in, but you shouldn't have to do that. So there are more barriers and obstacles now in this supposed age of progress than there were in the 70s. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It was so easy back then. I mean, the facilities weren't great, but they're better now for sure. But the way you get into grounds. Oh, I'll tell you what, the likes of Kelty and Stenhousemuir would put the Premier League clubs to shame in many cases. Now, we know that they're old grounds, they've not got the best of facilities at times, but I'll tell you what, in terms of accommodating people, they were far, far more friendly than the likes of Hibs or Aberdeen or Motherwell or Kilmarnock or any of those clubs. And of course, the big two as well. So yeah, I found not the game we played Stenhousemuir there, but the time before that we went there, and it was so easy for us to get in. So I phoned them up. I happened to get straight through to the ticket office. The lady asked what we wanted, and she told me where to go on match day. Went there, got a ticket, straight in, no problem. Nice and easy. Like putting barriers and obstacles on your way, it seems. I'm sorry, you can't buy a disabled ticket for that just now because they've not been released yet. Like they're on general sale to everybody else, but we've not, that was the Scottish League Cup semi-final when we played Celtic at Hampden. We had to wait, it was something like 3 weeks after the general sale of tickets went came out before we could get them. And Bev was furious with it. She thought it was terrible.